One of the most versatile and graceful athletes ever to don the orange and blue, Tom Grove's athletic prowess established a legacy in both football and track and field that has withstood the test of time. His time on the gridiron came when Gettysburg was still a member of the university division, competing against some of the top schools in the sport. The Bullets won only 6 games from 1971 to 1973, but Groves was responsible directly for the majority of those wins, scoring 8 touchdowns in the 5 games he played. 3 of those scores came as a part of a 30-28 upset of Lehigh, a team favored to beat the Bullets by 30 points at Musselman Stadium in 1972. One of the most memorable moments of his career, Groves caught 6 passes for 113 yards. Also tabbed the best defensive halfback on the team, he led the squad in scoring as a sophomore and ranked second as a junior. Groves saved his best for last, catching 48 passes for 670 yards and 8 touchdowns. He posted his best game against Albright, tying a career high with 7 receptions for a career best 154 yards and 2 scores. At the conclusion of the season, he was selected to the All-East team and received honorable mention on the All-State and Lutheran All-American teams. Groves finished his career with 110 receptions, a record that stood for 2 full decades. He totaled over 1,500 yards through the air and added another 1,300 on kickoff returns, finishing with over 3,000 all-purpose yards. His 16 career receiving touchdowns still stand as the second most by a Bullet. Springtime proved to be another successful endeavor for Groves as a member of the track team. Competing primarily in the long jump, triple jump, and 440-yard relay, he quickly made a name for himself by breaking the school and stadium records in the triple jump as a freshman. The record didn't last long, however, as Groves shattered the mark twice as a junior, reestablishing the record with a distance of 46 feet, 3.5 inches against Juniata. 34 years later, that distance still stands as the longest in school history. A native of Middletown, he graduated from Gettysburg with a degree in psychology in 1974 and later earned his master's in education from Millersville University. Groves worked as a counselor at Milton Hershey School and Scotland School for Boys and also coached junior high varsity football and track at his high school alma mater for several years. From 1994 to 97, Groves was recognized for his outstanding contributions as an outreach counselor. He passed away on November 2nd, 2002. Accepting his induction into the Hall of Athletic Honor is his brother, Robert Groves.
Good evening. This is really something. I absolutely promise not to talk more than 3 minutes. I didn't bring my varsity G jacket, but I do have a lot of people to say thank you to. First and foremost, I'd like to say thank you to my family. Tommy would do that if he'd be fortunate enough to be here. So Mom, thank you. Brother, thank you. Sister, thank you. Then I'd like to turn my attention to Gettysburg College. For those of us who know Tom, the first thing you would have to think about Tom is that smile he had. Before you start thinking about him as a football player or a track athlete, you'd had to think about him as a person. Tommy had a smile that would light up a room. More importantly, he knew how to deal with, talk to, and enjoy people. When you think about the athletic side of Tommy, he's probably one of the most outstanding athletes I've ever personally had the opportunity to watch play football, run track, triple jump, play softball, play tennis. There was absolutely nothing he couldn't do. One time in high school, I saw this man turn a 100-yard football field into 300 yards, and nobody touched him. But he ended up in the end zone. That means people, he ran from this sideline to this sideline to that sideline to this sideline to the other sideline. and ended up in the end zone. That was my brother. You asked me to think about a moment here at Gettysburg that is the most memorable. Once again, it's not involved in athletics. It involves me, his little brother. Because 2 years after Tommy came to Gettysburg, his little brother made absolutely the same decision. When I got here, Gettysburg had a surprise for me. I grew up with him. I lived with him all my life. Guess who my roommate was when I got here? Now, I don't know whether that was part of the plan, Coach Shoemaker's design, Coach Holton's design, Lefty's design. I don't know whose design that was, but that was truly a surprise for me. For the first year, I had to live with Tom. Now, my big brother always protected little brother. He did that here, too. Because when I was a freshman, I didn't go to any of the parties. I didn't go hardly anywhere. Because Tom was always somewhere close by to yank me by my collar and tell me, you need to go back to the dorm room and study some Latin. Because Latin was a bear for me too, Dale. And I don't think I would have made it out of here without my older brother. Gettysburg College. Probably some of the best years of my life, and I know they were for Tom too. He grew here, he learned here, he experienced here, and more importantly, he took the lessons from Gettysburg and applied them to life. Because I think that's the objective, and it's always going to be the objective of this university. God keep him, protect Gettysburg. Let Gettysburg continue to be what it is for so many of these other honorees here tonight. It provided us with a background that we've been able to transfer to our lives, to our families, and to those that have the opportunity to share with us. In closing, I'd just like to say how honored my family is to be here. My brother came 10 hours to be here. We now live in Atlanta, Georgia. We came here. It's the roots, it's the foundations that have allowed most of the people in here to find a success in lives that most of us have. In closing, Gettysburg, thank you for this. You have truly blessed my family. It's something that we will always cherish. Remember Tom, because we do. We love him. Thank you.